All right, I'm going to call this Pawnee Business Council special meeting to order June 18th, 2024. It is 5:33 p.m. and the invocation was provided this evening by Secretary Gardapi before he prayed over the meal and then for the meeting tonight. So at this time, we'll move on to item number 2, roll call.
Misty Nuttall.
Here.
Jordan Canuho.
He's excused, he's on travel.
George Gardapi here. Carol Chapman. Carol Chapman.
Here.
Cynthia Butler.
Here.
Donna Hare.
Titiku.
Dean Evans.
Here.
Sammy Kimball.
Here.
All right, we do have a quorum. This time, item number 3, approval of the agenda. Are there any changes, additions?
Yeah, we made a few changes from the original. Starting under new business 2A, we are renamed. All these are being renamed based upon how they were reviewed by the Attorney Generals to match the resolutions. So 2A will be changed to 210-603 Indian Child Welfare Budget Mod number 1. Under 2B, we're going to take out 1042 Tribal Historic Preservation Office Section 106 budget. And then 2B we're taking out 1042 Tribal Historic Preservation Office Section 106. Instead, we're going to name it 1910 Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund Budget Mod number 1. Then 2C, we're taking out approval of 1072 Cultural Resources Division Budget Mod number 1. And then under new business number 3, we are taking out Pawnee Tribal Development Corporation existing loan extension and changing it to First Secure Community Bank Agreement Extension, Pawnee Tribal Development Corporation. And then under new business number 4, we're taking out Pawnee Tribal Development Corporation and adding in Sovereign Bank Loan Documents and Guarantee Agreement, Pawnee Tribal Development Corporation. And then under new business number 5, finally calling it loan transaction with the Pawnee Tribal Development Corporation Sovereign Bank and taking out Pawnee Tribal Development Corporation Sovereign Bank Loan Authorization. Those are all the changes that I know of.
Any other council have any changes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda with these changes.
I'll make a motion with changes.
Got a motion by Secretary Gardapi. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second by Councilman Evans. Let's call for the vote.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman.
Yes.
Cynthia Butler.
Yes.
Donna Hare.
Uh-huh.
Dean Evans.
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 4, PBC travel reports and requests. Any travel reports or requests? Yes, Councilwoman Butler.
Yes, I attended, was it last week? I think it was last week. I attended the Sovereignty Symposium in Oklahoma City, and just a few highlights from the symposium. I attended the government-to-government relations sessions, the compacts agreements and other partnerships, business and education relations and criminal law. Also attended the water law, agricultural economics, and data sovereignty. One of the takeaways that I kind of got from the Sovereignty Symposium this year, which was a little bit different from the past couple of years, was a lot of tribal relationships. They wanted to build relationships more amongst the tribes and kind of wanted to do more networking, which kind of was a lot of what the sessions were. I think got a lot of that from the agricultural session that I attended. They were wanting to do a lot of more networking, with their, some of the tribes didn't know what to do next with some of the business ventures that they were doing and were seeking advice pretty much, and was like, what do we do next? We're doing this, but what are you guys doing with what you guys are doing with ag? And they had a lot of good resources, had a lot of good conversations. One of the things that I would really like us to look into, and it's not my forte, but it's the data sovereignty. It was a little bit over my head, and I know I shared this with you guys during our work group session when we were talking about it, but it's really interesting when I was listening to the conversations, and I know that we talked, one of the things that I took away from that session, though, was the conversations about, and I know I brought it up in one of the quarterly meetings with Taro, the way that they were doing the certification for Native Americans artists. That was brought up in the conversation with non-natives claiming to be Native artists. So I'm glad that our tarot department is doing that, and I hope that we support that, and I hope that they're getting a lot of our Pawnee tribal members to take that class and to do that, because there are a lot of, they call them posers out there, and they're trying to really get away from that and try to get them to quit, selling imposters things, I guess is what you can call it. So that was a huge topic of conversation in the data sovereignty session. But other than that, it was a really good our symposium this year, and I really enjoyed all of the information that we got. So
Thank you for that, Councilwoman Butler. Any questions for Councilwoman Butler? Anyone else have travel reports? Councilwoman Hare?
Yes, I do. So I also attended the Sovereignty Symposium, and the theme of it for this year was a new beginning. And like Cynthia said, they focused a lot on developing relationships and talked about the importance of it. The sessions I attended was government-to-government relations, compact agreements, and other partnerships. And the AG was there, Gittner, Drummond, and he talked about reaching out, reaching out your hand for political relationships. And he talked about how the Chickasaws and Choctaws and Cherokees are like Fortune 500 companies in Oklahoma. And so they talked about compacts and a lot of it, and how McGirt caused a lot of confusion. Chief Batten talked about how they're investing in infrastructure and that the most valuable population is in the rural communities. And so Gittner said that the next steps is that the Oklahoma had to change the paradigm, and it has to change it. And tribal leadership needs to educate those down the line, and that the work that the tribes work to house prisoners, make those in our communities so that they don't send our Native prisoners out of state. And so there was a good conversation. The next one I attended continued on the government-to-government relations, business and educational relations. I guess I was feeling guilty because I had to cancel my intergovernmental affairs meeting, so I attended two on that. And so the sessions were really interesting, and I have 9 pages of notes. I haven't been able to get through all of them, but I would like to pull out the important ones. They talked about, the Hearth Act and, the importance. And then I attended the Real Property and Trust with Casey Ross and let's see. I attended going to the, which one's that one? Oh, on the water resources, and that was really interesting. And East Central has a water resource policy and management master's of science degree, if anybody's interested. So it was a really interesting conversation, and like I said, I have more information that I would like to pull out for you. Today, I attended the United Indian Nations of Oklahoma meeting, and it was the quarterly meeting, and it was at the Buffalo Run Casino in Miami, Oklahoma. The guest speaker was Speaker Charles McCall, and he has, he's terming out of the Oklahoma House, I believe. And he served 12 years. And so anyway, all the tribes were really appreciative of, them reaching out. Margot Gray was there, and she talked about how everything started changing when they reached out to him and the state, and one of the goals of this year was to improve the relationship with the state and work with them. So they did that. They reached out, and they said it was very beneficial. It is working out well. There was information on the Farm Bill. It's been delayed, and it may be delayed again, but they talked about how the Farm Bill had, when it first came out, I think there was about a handful. Tribes were mentioned maybe less than 4 times. And so then when the 2008 Farm Bill came out, tribes were mentioned around 47 times. And so they're hoping that tribes are going to be mentioned again in these. There's, I don't know if you, well, let me get more information on that before I actually make that statement. I want to make sure I verify my sources. So also there is the Get Out the Vote initiative across the Indian country, and talking about the importance of voting in the state and local elections. And so I hope everybody, is it too late to vote? Nope, it's still got time. So if you haven't voted, vote. NCAI Executive Director Larry Wright Jr., who is Northern Ponca, he was there today, and I think you're aware there was some conflict with the National Congress of American Indians with federally recognized tribes, and state recognized tribes. And so that topic came up today, and the tribes were pretty vocal on it. So they're putting together a committee to look at the membership of NCAI, and they think that maybe it got lax for a period where some tribes were let in that really didn't meet the criteria. So they're putting together a work group on that, and President Macaro of NCAI, he is leading that, and he's still putting together that. He was not able to attend today, but Joe Echel? No, I'm not saying right. Echel?
Ezel.
Okay, you know what we're talking about. With the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority was there. And he got roasted a little bit by everybody there. But anyway, he came and he talked about, kind of gave the history on it and why it was rushed. And they said there were some really bad accidents, at the booths, and they had a 10-year plan, but they moved it up to a 4-year plan. And so, he got some tough questions. I wasn't able to stay for all of it, like the Native American Boarding School Initiative and the McGirt implications of the McGirt in criminal, but I hope to catch up on that because I wanted to get back here for our council meeting. So thank you, and those are my 2 trips.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman Hare. Any questions for Councilwoman Hare? And I do just kind of want to follow up on that last one on the Native American Boarding School Initiative. We were sent a letter requesting support for Secretary Holland's continued effort for the Native American boarding school investigations that have been conducted. I know that they've released 2, I don't want to say studies, but it was a study, and it was released in 2 parts. There was 1 part, and the second part has been released. So that's an ongoing initiative. So Pawnee Nation is in support of that to continue efforts. Okay, at this time, we'll move to item number 5, old business.
President Nettle?
Yes.
President Nettle?
Yes,
I
Treasurer
just wanted to report briefly, I also attended the Sovereignty Symposium, and the 2 sessions that I will report on were, to me, the most important to bring back. And One was on the Indian child welfare laws, and it was excellent sessions, excellent speakers, and I thought it was really interesting that the keynote speaker spoke on Canadian law and Canada law as it pertains to Indian child welfare, and he continually compared us, the United States, to Canada, and that how strong, much stronger our laws and our sovereignty is here in the United States for our tribal people to protect our children. And that was very, very good to hear. Also, my most important takeaway was the tribal healthcare systems, and I attended those sessions, and there were 2 panels, and they gave information on examples of what other tribes here in Oklahoma are doing, some of the real successful tribes that have had real outstanding healthcare systems, and they all spoke in depth. There were excellent speakers, and I did take a lot of notes on that because they are doing some real innovative methods and processes, including culture. And I took notes, and I'll be able to share that with our work group as we go forward with our own behavioral health center. And I just wanted to add that real quick, and that's all.
All right, thank you, Treasurer Chapman, for your report.
Thank
Councilwoman Hare?
Yes, thank you. I forgot to mention, I knew there was something important here that I wanted to mention, and that it was brought up about the Carciera fix today, and there are going to be hearings. The Jerry Wisner with Muskogee Creek Attorney General, she apprised that the House Natural Resources Committee is going to be holding hearings on the 26th, June 26th, and it's Representative Tom Cole's attempt to pass a clean fix bill for that. And that's what tribes that were not founded under the IRA, that's where they can't put land into trust. And so that's what they're trying to fix in Congress now. And so there's going to be hearings on it, and it's House Bill HR, 6180. And Wilson Pipe Sim said that it was really interesting that it was being held at this time. So there's a few more interesting notes that I'll get through and get out to you guys. Thank you.
Okay, item number 5, old business. Item number 1, discussion and/or action on planning and zoning proposal C renewal. We met in our work group, and we're addressing the tabled items that are still listed on our PBC agenda. So on this item, it was discussed to remove with no action. This land and zoning proposal is actually addressed in a A&A proposal that was submitted. And so we're going to wait and see the outcome on that before moving forward. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to remove.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by Councilwoman Butler. Is there a second?
Second.
By Secretary Gardapi. If no further discussion, we'll call for the vote.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare?
Aho.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Sammy Kimball?
Yes.
Okay, item number 2, approval of 2343 HR Policy and Procedures Revisions, Chapter 13, Employee Grievance. With the reinstitution of our HR committee, this will be addressed in that committee. So at this time, we're going to remove, as it's been referred out to the subcommittee. And then once this is removed, the resolution number is basically withdrawn, so that number can be reassigned. I entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by Councilwoman Kimball. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilwoman Butler. No further questions, we'll call for the vote.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare?
Aho.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Tammy Kimball?
Yes.
Okay, item number 3, approval of Resolution 2421, Health Advisory Board Act.
Council, this comes back to the council. This was from the tribal management grant, and part of the deliverables for that grant was the Health Advisory Board Act, and it's here for approval. It's here for approval. That's all I can say. At your disposal. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2421.
Make a motion.
Got a motion by Secretary Gardapi. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilwoman Butler. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare?
Aho.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Tammy Kimball?
Okay, item
Yes.
number 4, approval of Resolution 2422, ARPA allocation storm victim assistance. At this time, I'm entertaining a motion to withdraw or remove Resolution 2422, ARPA allocation, and at the same time, withdrawing to reassign the resolution number.
I'll make the motion to withdraw Resolution 2422.
Got a motion to withdraw Resolution 2422. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Secretary Gardapi. Any further discussion? None, I'll call for the vote.
Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare?
Aho.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Tammy Kimball?
Yes.
Okay, under new business, item 6, approval of Resolution 2431, cultural approach to good health and wellness in Indian country proposal.
Council, this comes from the Planning Committee proposal review. The diabetes program is going after this grant, and it is a 5-year grant. If we're funded, it starts in September 30th of this year. It is a grant that's going to tie healthy living, Pawnee culture, and traditional foods. They have 3 strategies. I'll just list off a couple of the things that they're doing. Of course, it's preventative diabetes prevention, but they'll be doing a lot of activities. They're going to use the language to help support. They're going to help support language classes. They're going to try to expand language classes and curriculum in the childhood to 6th grade. With songs, word phrases, and stuff like that. I'm thinking in the daycares, just like sight words and stuff like that. They're also be doing sponsorship of community gardens and beds for the Pawnee Nation programs and families. They'll be hosting a lot of wellness walks and runs, bike riding challenges. They'll also be doing classes on healthy eating and physical activities, a lot more health screenings. They'll also be implementing the Eagle Adventures and Diabetes is Not Our Destiny in the schools and after school and the early learning settings. They'll also be doing increased screenings and testing for community members. This comes from the committee for the recommendation for the council approval.
Thank you, Councilwoman Butler. Any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2431. Got a motion by Secretary Gardapi. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman here. Yeah. If no further discussion, we'll call for the vote.
Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare?
Aho.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Tammy Kimball?
Yes.
Okay, item number 6, new business number 2, Budget Committee recommendations. Item A, approval of 4210-603 Indian Child Welfare Budget Mod number 1. Treasurer Chapman?
Yes. If everyone has their documents from Teams, we have the paperwork in there for this on coming from the Budget Committee. This was discussed at Budget Committee. And this is the Bureau of Indian Affairs Self-Governance funding, and it is to approve the ICW Budget Mod 1 to reflect the actual awarded amount. They originally submitted a budget of $148,163, and were actually awarded $89,719. So it's correcting the budget, and by decreasing the approved amount to the actual awarded amount, the program did not lose any money or refund anything. And according to the form, as you'll see, there was no carryover on there. So it has the, as we have here, the actual line items prepared by finance for your review. And are there any questions?
I don't hear any. I'll entertain
Okay,
a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
I got a motion by
President.
Treasurer Chapman. Is there a second? Second by Councilwoman Kimball. No further discussion. We'll call for the vote.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare?
Aho.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Tammy Kimball?
Yes.
Okay, item number B, approval of 1910 Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund Budget Mod Number 1.
Yes. Again, as you can see in your teams, there is lots of supporting documentation and explanations for this. And the funding source is the U.S. Treasury. This is for the amount of $627,563.05. And what we're doing here is adding the second year of funds, $624,751.92, and the additional unclaimed LATCF funds that were allocated to the Pawnee Nation in the amount of $2,811.13, bringing the total amount to $1,252,314.97. And this is adding funds that have been received to bring the total award current, and documentation of receiving these funds is attached. And Mr. Rice has put his additional comments here, and the R&E attached is showing line items in brackets. He added funds to those lines to cover those expenses, and the rest of the remaining funds were added to the assistance 6,700 line item labeled as unallocated funds. And this is how the original budget was, so he stayed uniform with that. He also, in his documentation, updated the budget justification on the mod number 1, reflecting the expenses that have been charged to the program to date. And also is the very detailed explanation and the bank receipts. Year 1 funds, we received $624,751.92. Year 2 funds received $624,751.92, and the unclaimed funds, which were distributed to all tribes who qualified, $2,811.13. And he's got the bank receipts here, everything. Even the email documentation where we brought it up to this. So if there are no other questions, I'll go ahead and make a motion.
Okay, I got a motion on the floor by Treasurer Chapman. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is it can we clarify, is this a motion to approve?
Yes, motion to approve.
And then second by Councilwoman Kimball.
Correct.
If no further discussion, we'll call for the vote.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare?
Aho.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Tammy Kimball?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that, Treasurer Chapman. New business, item 3, approval of resolution 2432, First Secure Community Bank Agreement Extension, Pawnee Tribal Development Corporation. will be presenting on the 3 resolutions for TDC.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. This is Robert Waller with TDC.
Thank you.
The first one is a loan extension on the current loan, which we will have, I think it's a 90-day extension, so we will have until August the 17th to get that paid off. We kind of assume all the loan documents have been turned into the NIGC as of last Friday. Yesterday, we received notification from them that it's been assigned, and we requested a 4-week turnaround, which when they replied, it said they got it and it's been assigned to one of their attorneys. They didn't say that was a problem, so we're hoping by towards the end of July that we'll get all those documents back and we can have our signing towards the end of July, and it'll fund that day or the next. So this is an extension to our current loan that we have.
Council, do you have any questions for Mr. Waller on this resolution? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2432 for the First Secure Community Bank Agreement Extension.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion by Treasurer Chapman. Is there a second?
I'll
Second.
Got a second by Dr. Evans. If no further questions, I'll call for the vote.
Carter P. Yes. Carol Chapman.
Yes.
Cynthia Butler.
Yes.
Donna Hare.
Aho.
Gene Evans.
Yes.
Tammy Kimball.
Yes.
Thank you. The next item that we have is item number 4, approval of Resolution 2433, Sovereign Bank Loan Documents and Guarantee Agreement. Mr. Waller?
Yes, that resolution, and I'm not for sure which is which based on one of the resolutions is the tribe agreeing that we should move forward with the loan and assigning the individuals who will sign for the loan. The other one is about the same thing, but it's saying for TDC who will sign for the loan. And I think there it is the board chair, which would be Jeff and the secretary, which I think is the same on the other resolution.
Just taking a moment to look at the other resolution and see.
Yeah, this one says that the president and the secretary of the nation will be and said officers hereby and singly authorized and empowered to execute and deliver. So whenever we do towards the end of July, sign the loan documents, the president, the secretary of the business council, and the president, the secretary of the TDC board will be the authorized signers. And this one is authorizing the signers for the business council. The next resolution will authorize the signers for TDC.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Waller on Resolution 2433?
I have a comment.
Yes, Councilwoman Kimball.
Yes, thank you, President Nuttall. I just want to let our citizens know that these documents have been vetted not only by our business council, and we've been in session and discussing about, but also at the table with Mr. Waller and the bank was our Vice President, Jordan Canujo, who spent many hours getting everything tied up and clean so that we could move forward in refinancing and saving the nation money as we move forward with Sovereignty Bank. And I just wanted to express that so everyone knows that this isn't just being signed off without any thought. This has been on the table for quite some time. Mr. Waller and this team has been in work with it, and that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Yes, we have actually, not only the business council, but the TDC board, myself, the attorney general for the tribe, the attorney for TDC, the gaming commission's attorney. It's been gone over with a fine tooth comb.
Thank you, Mr. Waller.
President Nettle,
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2433.
Got a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Butler to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Evans. No further discussion. We'll call for the vote.
Garda P, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes,
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Uh-huh.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tammy Kimball.
Yes.
Okay, item number 5, approval of resolution 2434, loan transaction with the Pawnee Tribal Development Corporation and Sovereign Bank. As Mr. Waller had mentioned, this resolution is designating who is signing on behalf of the TDC and PBC Council on the loan agreements, the guarantee agreements, the deposit accounts, pledge accounts, control agreement, promissory notes, and security agreement. Council have any questions for Mr. Waller? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion, President.
Got a motion by Treasurer Chapman. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Got a second by Councilwoman Kimball. Hearing no further discussion, we will call for the vote.
Garda P, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes,
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Uh-huh.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Kimball.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Waller. We do appreciate your efforts.
My pleasure.
Item number 7, open forum. Do you have anything for open forum? No, they're just going to get you a microphone right here.
Good evening, my PBC.
Good evening.
Hi, my name is Moni Horsechief. I'm a Pawnee Nation tribal member. My mom is Minnie Osborne, Minnie Little Eagle Osborne Fields. She's Pawnee, full-blood Pawnee. My dad is Arthur Fields. He's Skeety Chawee of the Skeety Band, Arthur Fields Jr. I wanted to share with you all about an experience that I've had like these last 3 weeks through Pawnee Nation College. It's been a plus because we've been able to attend some trainings over at Pawnee at Oklahoma State, OSU. Man, they've been wonderful. What it is, it's like a 3.5 to 4 week internship with a stipend. What we're learning about is like meat processing. What we're learning about bison processing. We saw them butcher a cow. We saw them butcher a bison. Bison was kind of hard. We've learned about horticulture. We've learned about a lot of various different things. And to me, it's been very beneficial. And thank you, Councilmember Hare, for setting that up. And like I said, that's through Pawnee Nation College. But was able to see some of my own relatives who are willing to go into horticulture, and a nephew that's willing to look into like meat processing. And it's like, dang, it's like we have like our whole little family in there, like the Fields and Osborns. But it's good because I'm seeing the younger generations that are willing to get their education, signed up to go to OSU, signed up with the PNC. So that's been very positive. And that's something that's been with us in agriculture at Pawnee Nation, and with our greenhouse, with Shane and with Brittany over there. It's been a wide array of learning experience to where we're all like on fire. Because we see the possibilities, whether it's river generating revenue for our own personal families or for our Pawnee Nation as a whole. So that's been I would love to see more of our Pawnee, or just natives as a whole, go through that program, because that opens it up and it brings it to, because I wish I was like 30 years younger and could go back to school and just start from the ground up and learn about meat processing, butcher those cows, and because it's eye-opening, and it's eye-opening to like sovereignty, to sustainable living, to more healthier living, for whether it's for our mental health, whether it's for physical, or whether it's to sharing that love to our elders and to our youth. And through teaching, my big part of it is that what I've learned is that different ways that I could teach our youth. And so that's been inspiring. So a lot of our Pawnees, our ag, and are really being fulfilled. It's great to see that. You know, but it's great to see that because you see that momentum and that energy that they're putting into it of excitement. Because I know that's going to flow down into our generations to come. And so we've been doing that. We end this week and receive our we're master gardeners. We're like, there's different certifications that we can use and that we can utilize to teach our own, bring back here to our reservation and teach. I'll be certified to teach in 2. The others that are Pawnees that are out there, whether it's Sunny Boy Fields, they're going to be certified. And that's, to me, that's inspiring. And so, and when I was over there, I was thinking about Donna. She's OSU, and then my sister Lisa came over there, and she graduated from there, and she had to come in and try to show everybody up. But so, thank you for bringing that to our people, and because we receive a stipend at the end, a $2,000 stipend. It's not no secret or anything. But the other thing is that I wanted to talk about. So thank you for all that, PBC, and Dr. Evans, PNC. The other thing I want to talk about is that our businesses that we have here in Pawnee Nation. I have had a catering business for 20 years, and I guess I think I just wanted to bring to the table about picking our vendors. And, do we prioritize them? And I remember Roy Taylor, and I remember my Uncle Jimmy Fields saying, let's let those bids go out, whether it's for catering, mine's catering, construction, blah, 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 and give them opportunity. So my question is to you all, is do we prioritize that upon our directors? Do we remind them to filter these monies back out into our Pawnee families? You know what, because that's important. I'm a widow, single mother now. Not widow, but those dollars need to be filtered out into our family because it causes hardship. We already live in a food insecurity community. And so I would challenge, and I said I wouldn't bring this to the PBC, but I feel like it has to because I have health issues. I'm not the only. Just look at how we're looking or picking and choosing people that are bidding on our jobs, whether it's food, catering. Are we sending these out to our traffic office? Are we sending it back out to Pawnee families? Certified, I fed you all many a times. And this can cause hardship on our families to where it can cause a burden. And it's hard to look at it as a burden when you already have it as a burden in your own mindset. People have health problems. People have mental issues. But why aren't we looking back into our own people to put that money back into it, because people with these businesses, they usually have employees that can help them carry that through. I'm not in the best health, but I got a team that can kick butt. So I would just ask, and I'm challenging to look at things, upcoming events in the future, that to look at our vendors that we pick and supplies, and that's gone out to the directors as a whole, because it puts burdens on our Pawnee families. My boy's Pawnee. I'm Pawnee. I'm almost full-blood Pawnee. And I said I wouldn't bring to this table, and I'm sorry. But I have to, because there's businesses and people and families out there that have these skills and abilities, of whether it's catering, whether it's, I don't know, mine's catering. And I'm just looking upon, I'm not saying just look upon on me. Don't let them move in. This is our Pawnee money. Let it go back to our Pawnee families. There's businesses that are established up in town with gigantic stockers. We need money here, but going back into our Pawnee families. I need it. My son needs it. My daughter needs it. And that's why I say I wish I could have gone through this program when I was 30 years younger. Maybe I could have finished my education. Yeah, I could, but I'm not at that capacity. So I challenge all of y'all to look at how we look at our bids and picking our people, whether they're willing to fluctuate, because I bet you what? I bet you those Pawnee people that are bidding those jobs are willing to fluctuate just a little bit. $3,000 or $4,000 is a lot of money in my pocket. That'd carry me for 2 months. So I would just say that, and and just to look at that, and overall, and to keep it going, because I know we want to feed into our Pawnee people, to our Pawnee families, give it back to our Pawnees. Are we tired? I am. Tired of battling with all that. I moved back home, so that's all. I just want you all to look at that as a whole. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I'm sorry.
Councilwoman Kimball.
Thank you. Moni, I sure want to thank you for coming in this evening and bringing that to us. I completely agree with you. I don't think that any of our vendors should be non-native, non-tribal if we have the opportunity to hire somebody here within our own people and community. We've got caterers, we have a tree service, we have electricians, we have plumbers, we have a variety, we have painters, wall painters. We should be really utilizing them. And I would challenge Taro to bring them in and to do some training for the Taro workers as well. We could have, honestly, I've said this about 1,000 times. We have a neighboring tribe about 20 miles just due northwest of here, the Oto Missouri's. They're got a very wonderful business model. The way that they operate is amazing. And I'm not talking just about per capita. I'm talking about personal development within their nation. They have, I believe, Pat Moore is the director of their maintenance program and has 20 or 25 employees. When the council decides that they want to build an elders dining hall, that team builds it from the ground up. That's what I want to see. I want that for our people. That is investing in our own and neighboring tribes. I'm not saying all of those folks are Otos. We have Pawnees that work up there at Oto. There's all kinds of tribes, even non-Indians, that work up there. But nonetheless, they have that capability. So I challenge all of us to think outside the box. There's no need to go to town and get a breakfast caterer. We have them right here. There's no reason to bring somebody in to cut trees down. We have our own. Hire them. That's what I'm saying. You know, we're licensed, we've got all these things going on, so I would really challenge us to do a better job. All of us, even in our home life, you know, give them the opportunity. I know that I was really happy to see a lot of our folks really coming here. Me, I just celebrated my 10th year here in Pawnee. And it's finally, I'm finally the happiest I've ever been in my life being amongst my own folks. And I told my brothers and my sister this last week. I encourage every Pawnee that's out there watching this to come home for homecoming if you have the opportunity. Come on. If you have a camp and it's too hot or you just don't have the facilities to cook, hire one of our catering services and have them come out and cook for you, cook for your camps like that. So I just share that, and I thank you for that. We have so many artists. We have so many women that are capable of sewing our Indian clothes. There's no need to go up to stores up north and buy those clothes. We have Vicki Leading Fox right now that has a sewing circle. I believe it's on, she volunteered, yes, and they're making shirts over here at the community house and making ribbon skirts. And a lot of the young ladies in town are making ribbon skirts and trying to supplement their incomes. So we need to open our eyes and I would challenge the executive office to let's, if you don't have that model put in place, I mean, we certainly need it. And I would encourage you to do that for our own. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Kimball. Anything to add?
President Nettle?
Yes, Treasurer Chapman.
Yes, I would like to thank Moni first for all her volunteer work. I observe the good work Moni does all the time, her and her family volunteering. And I want to thank her for bringing that to our attention and for the challenge, because there most certainly should be fair and equal procedures and processes in awarding our bids. And thank you, Moni, for bringing that to our attention, and we will be looking into that. Thank you. That's all I had, President Mel. Thank you.
Thank you. And just as Councilwoman Kimball had mentioned, you know, we just actually talked about it this evening, that Taro is creating or gathering a list of Native American vendors. So that can be something that's added on to that process, you know, about the priority selection given to our Pawnee tribal members, you know, that reside in the area or across the board, wherever. So, yes. Yeah, well, they'll create the database essentially, and then they'll have to create a policy, and then that will come to this body, and so we can make sure that that's implemented into that. But thank you.
I just had one more thing that
Yes,
I wanted to express. I moved to Ponca, and one of the things that the tribe has now is a new gas station travel center. It's really nice, actually. It's just right up the road going into town. And I noticed a truck there, and it said Nation Wholesale Distribution and Supply. This is owned by a nation. It's called Nation Wholesale Distribution and Supply, Indian owned, and they are actually they are competing with larger companies to stock that store up there. So that's what they're doing now, and I would encourage, if Mr. Waller is on this, I see him lit up. Mr. Waller, if you could take that back to TDC, maybe we can use them for our convenience stores, restaurant supply, et cetera, it would be really good. There's another opportunity to get Indian-owned businesses in the game, and we should all be encouraging that. Thank you.
Absolutely, I'll look into that.
Thank you. I actually took a picture of the truck and then wrote it down in my notes so that I would remember to bring that in to council. Thank you.
Did it have a phone number? Do you know?
You know, it didn't, but I'm glad to call over there to the TA there at Ponca and get a phone number if you like. I can do that.
Oh, that'd be great.
All right,
Okay,
I'll
thank you.
handle that. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councilwoman Kimball. Moni?
Add to that, I heard that TDC was on the line. It would be good to we get some, rather than just like made in Oklahoma, retail items out at our travel plaza off the turnpike. I don't know if that's a partnership that has to be bridged to, what was his name? Pardon me? What was it, TDC?
Robert Waller.
Waller?
Mr. Waller, it'd be good if we could get some of those, our Pawnee Nation from tax commission going out there, because to me, that's money that goes back into our nation as a whole rather than the made in Oklahoma products. Made in Oklahoma products those come from, it's a nonprofit. Made in Oklahoma products, or they do t-shirts, they do produce, and that's somebody who I work with on our farmers market on Made in Oklahoma products. But I as a Pawnee Nation tribal member, it just disturbs me to go out to the travel plaza. I don't even go out there anymore, and to not see any of our tax commission. I don't know if this partnership needs to be built, but Made in Oklahoma, to where you're filtering dollars back into a nonprofit, one could be filtered into our own nation dollars as a revenue generator. I would really like to see that, and that's something that I don't know. I think that a lot of our tribal members would like to see, because we have an amazing artist, Nathan McCrae, and we do T-shirts out there, and, and it's just a matter. I know it's a matter of like shelf life and picking, but you can pick and choose, but promote our Pawnee Nation out there as a whole, because man, we're keen people. We do amazing. We have amazing artists. We have amazing food. We have amazing ancestral seed. We have amazing. We're going to build up our Pawnee Farmers Market and have our own
That'd be
Pawnee
wonderful.
Nation Locals Farmers Market. So, man, feed into our own people. That's just what I want to say. So, and I'm going to go home and then I'll quit griping.
Misty, I have one more.
Yes.
Mr.
Councilwoman
Waller, I
Kimball.
have a question for you. This is Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Was part of your business plan up at the Stone Wolf property to put in that commercial area where you pulled the games out of the convenience store area on that west side?
Yes, what we're going to do there is we're going to move all of the automotive and add more trucker supplies in that room. And where the automotive is right now, we're going to put glass lockable cabinets there, and we're going to do kind of a consignment area for Pawnee artists that they can display and sell their goods there.
And Mr. Waller, would you also entertain the thought of working with Mr. Lyle Fields in our tax department? Because we do have tribal merchandise available as well. They have really beautiful cups and T-shirts and just jackets and sweatshirts.
We can sell anything in that area.
So would it be best for Lyle just to reach out to you then? Rather than.
Yeah, we're trying to get the vendor set up that does the trucking supplies. And as soon as they get that room set up, they're going to clear those shelves off that's in that area that's going towards the casino. And then when that all gets cleared off, I'm not for sure how many cases we can get in there, but yeah, those will be available to either tribal made stuff or tribal member artists
All right.
that make their own wares.
So Jennifer, do you think maybe we could get Lyle to reach out to him? That'd be great. Thank you. Thanks very much, Mr. Waller. Thanks, Moni.
Councilwoman Hare.
Yes, I just wanted to add on to that conversation and say it was good to hear Mr. Waller's response, because that really was the intent when we wrote the proposals for the Travel Plaza as well as the Trading Post, was to have our tribal members be able to sell, and that we would be able to sell tribal, items. What I had one more thing to report on, and literally, I apologize for, making this piecemeal, but I literally just walked in from the United Indian Nations of Oklahoma meeting. Nathan Hart, who used to be with the Indian Affairs Commission about 3 decades ago when it existed, he is now co-chair of the planning committee of the Native American Warrior Project. And this was signed into legislation in the last session with Oklahoma, and it's going to create a monument. There's going to be a Native Day on November the 23rd, and tribal leaders are going to be recognized on the field at the OU game. There's going to be some preliminary events. ESPN will run a segment about that day. The tribal color guards will bring in the flags, and they want involvement. So the funding goal will not be looking to get money from tribes. They'll accept donations if anybody wants it. They want the funding to come from corporations, and they don't feel that it's appropriate for the tribes to have to raise the money to honor, their own. So they said that the honorary chair of the committee is Barry Switzer, and he still has some pull at OSU, and OU, oops, sorry. Boomer sooner for that one. Yeah, and so they said he still had some pull at OU, and he helped make this possible. So you'll probably be being notified, President Nuttall, of this event.
Thank you.
I also see that Mary Mashunktashe is on the line, and she was at I had to leave early, so I don't know if she had anything that I missed or that she wanted to add, because it was a really important meeting today.
Councilwoman Hare, do you want to let her know where you left off?
Let's see.
Or the updates that you missed or presentations? Miss Weisner's
Probably at
presentation?
McCall. I left after Speaker McCall was there. And the
I think one
Turnpike.
important things I was going to add, and I was going to talk about that during my report, because I know Councilwoman Hare was there, but they wanted the tribes to put together a task force for the boarding school issue. They said they were reaching out, and they had requested that any of the tribes that could offer any help in any way there, and any people from the nations that wanted to volunteer, they need to put together a task force, and they need it badly and quickly. So Ben Barnes had offered that if anyone wanted to volunteer to join that task force, to get a hold of him immediately, because they would like to put that together. So if Pawnee Nation wants to volunteer in support, and if anyone wants to join that task force, they're asking for you to do that. And then also the Jerry Weisner had talked about I know that Donna had updated, but they did put through the resolution for support from the UINO on that case and for that hearing that will be heard on June 26th. So UINO did do a resolution in support, and I think that's exciting because UINO is really trying to build back up, as most of you know. So by them doing resolutions in support of nations and their work, I think is a really important part of where they're heading. And I did notice today that they're running their meetings a lot more organized according to tribal membership and individual membership, giving them voting authority and rights. So I thought that was really good today for tribal leadership. And by the end of the meeting, um, at first they had announced that they had 30 members, tribes members that had joined. And then by the end of the meeting, Comanche Nation had joined, so they were at 31. So that was a real big deal for what the work that they're trying to do. But I think that all that happened after Donna had left was those two items. Of course, they gave an update on the tobacco compact, the car tag compact, which really there's not too much going on there other than Governor Stitt is trying to send out, and he had made an announcement today, I guess, while we were in that meeting, that he wants all tribes to sign this new car compact that he has put together, and it's the only one that will be talked about, that will be sent out, and it's just like the Choctaw and Chickasaw. So I know that that was kind of targeted towards Cherokee Nation, because I'm sure you've been following that, but Cherokee Nation has a different type of compact there. So they are really pushing back hard because Cherokee Nation does issue their own tags. They do share revenue with the state based that is outside of their reservation boundaries. So that's going to be a battle, and I don't think that I really don't see Cherokee Nation conceding to this agreement. So that's going to be something to follow, especially for the rest of us who are receiving these compact. So, but that happened after you left. So that's all I have to add to that.
Thank you for that, Mary. Yes, that last item, we do appreciate the efforts on that. I know that's kind of evolving right now, especially since it was announced today, so I'm sure it'll be presented to us soon. Anything else for open forum? Jamie, do we have anything? Nope. Councilwoman Hare.
One last thing from today is they want our communications. Mary may have noticed this. They're really developing their communications. Channel 8 was there filming. They had, and what I've been noticing is at these meetings recently, they've been having the different communication departments are, going with the chiefs or, whoever, the leaders, to some of the meetings and recording it. But so she's wanting our contact information so that, so that they can send out information to us. But yeah, they're really getting organized. It was a big meeting today, and I'm sure there's things I left out.
All right, thank you for that. Item number 8, we have set the next meeting date, and the first Tuesday, if we're going to continue on, is July the 2nd, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. This is the week of homecoming. I don't know if anyone has any conflicts. If not, we'll set the next meeting date, July 2nd, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. That takes us to item number 9, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion on the floor by Secretary Gardapi, second by Councilwoman Butler. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any abstain, not voting? Hearing none, will be adjourned at 6:43 p.m.